Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals. Welcome back to Budget with Ira. Today we are doing something very slightly different. And in today's video, you don't get to see my face. I mean, poor you. Today I am packing orders and I had a couple of requests for it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that with you today. While I'm doing that, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that you guys have asked me over on Instagram and over on YouTube. So hopefully we'll have a nice video together today, but I really do need to get through these orders. So I'm going to be showing you what I'm packing as I go through it, and maybe I'm packing one of your orders, who knows? So let's go ahead. So Ruby went for a 9-pack of the A6 Luxe and she's gone for the same type. Really nice. I like how these turned out. So first question that I've got is from Instagram and it is Through the Grapevine. And she asks, what is the best and worst impulse purchase you've ever made? I can't think of the best impulse purchase, but I do know that I've made a lot of bad decisions. Like I can remember like really expensive ones as well. So I can remember really well that one Halloween I wanted to go as a werewolf, and obviously werewolves, they have long sharp nails. So instead of buying some long sharp nails, I just thought it'd be a good idea to teach myself how to do acrylics. So I ended up watching hours and hours of like YouTube videos of how to do acrylics and bought all the monomers and all of that. So now I know how to make acrylics. And I literally wore them for about 3 minutes on the night out. So yeah, that was a massive waste of time and a huge waste of money as well, because I spent so much on that. But yeah, I've done all sorts of stuff like that in the past, like just waste money frivolously. These are my new stickers that I've got and I'm not happy with them. They're really off-center. I'm gonna contact the company and see if I can get, oh no, I ruined that one already. See if who was that for? That was for Ruby. Yeah, I'm gonna contact the company and see if I can get my money back for it. But yeah, I'm not happy with how they've turned out. Okay, we've got Danielle O'Donoghue's order. This one's really cute actually. I like this order. So Danielle ordered 2 of these, but she wanted them blank because she wanted to set these up with her son and teach him how to save money. So she wanted him to use his own stickers. So while I was in Poundland, I thought, why not? Why don't I just get them some stickers? Because otherwise it just makes it a bit nice. So this only cost me £1 and I thought it was just a nice thing to do. So maybe they can label it up together. I thought that was lovely. Now I need to fold these carefully. Okay, so we've got another question over on Instagram. This is from Simple Budgets, who, as you know already, I absolutely adore. She asked quite a lot of questions, actually. So I'm going to answer a couple of them. So the first question is, how do I fit everything into my daily life? And how do I... Oh, that's not going to fit. How do I fit everything in? I'm not very good at multitasking, am I? So how do I fit everything in? And the real answer is it's a struggle. It is really hard. But I think, you know, ultimately I do what I care about. And I love doing this. So ultimately I'm always going to find time for making videos and making content and stuff like that, just because I really care about it. But it's very easy for me to say that because I don't have children. I think if I had children, I would very much struggle with my like workload, because I don't really have any dependents or anything like that. I mean, I've got the cats, but they're quite happy by themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if I had a dog, I think I'd struggle. But yeah, there's that. So, you know, there's also a big sort of sense of responsibility as well, because, you know, getting videos out, and even when I take like a couple days off, I get quite a lot of messages saying, "Are you okay?" and people worried about me. So I don't want people to sort of feel anxiety over when the next video is coming out. That's why I try and leave it quite ambiguous, because sometimes I can commit to something and sometimes I can't. So yeah, there's that. She also asked, what is your favourite colour? And I kind of have two favourite colours. So one of my favourite colours is like a sort of yellowy green, and it's probably quite close to that green there that's on the Budget with Ira logo. I really like a super yellowy, gross green. It just makes me happy. But like really probably my all-time favourite colour is like a baby pink. For me, when I see colours like that, it's like fresh batteries to me. I absolutely love it. Yeah, it makes me really happy, that sort of colour. My worst colour, I would probably say anything purple. I'm not a purple fan at all. Especially dark purples. I don't know what it is about them. I just never really been a fan of purple at all. Oh, look what we got now. We've got a diamond scratch off envelope. I love these. These are one of the newest items into the store. Absolutely love it. So I'm just gonna pop that in there. Keep it nice and safe. So Simple Budgets also asked, what is your favorite takeaway? That's a tough question because I pretty much love all takeaways. Oh, she didn't get anything free. Oh, that worked out right. Yeah, I pretty much love all takeaways. But my favourite probably, I don't know, I like a curry, so either be a Chinese, probably an Indian, but it kind of depends on what mood I'm in, if I'm honest. We have gone, I have recently gone to somewhere new. So there's a German doner kebab place that opened up in my town, and oh my word, I think it's probably the best meal I've ever had in my life. Like, it was just incredible. I can't even express how good it was. If you have one of those in your town, definitely go. They can run quite pricey, if I'm honest, but oh, it was so good. And I'm literally thinking about when I can go there next. I might even go today by myself. No, I won't. Like today, I'm going to get these orders mailed out, and I'm going to do some other bits. I've got quite a lot of videos to film today because tomorrow I'm going on my friend's stag do. So yeah, I'm doing that in today. I feel like I'm rushing through these orders, but I am enjoying them. Another sticker for Jennifer. So yeah, all of my orders, they come with like a little business card, and they also come with a free sticker as well. And when they're big enough, I can justify using a plastic bag as well. If they're just one item, which sometimes people do just one item just to see what the quality is like. And I don't mind that because they tend to follow up with a bigger order afterwards. I won't put it in a bag just because like postage costs enough as it is, do you know what I mean? So I try not to do that. But yeah, I love to give out a free sticker, and it's not really calculated in the price of the item. I know that my item pricing is still not quite right. It probably should be a bit more, but I don't know, I'm kind of happy with it as it is at the moment, but who knows where it'll be. I feel like I'm waffling a load of rubbish to you. Okay. Shall we go back to the questions? Simple Wedges also asks, where would you like to go before you die? I've always had a big dream of going to Svalbard, just off the, well, not just off, but like in the polar circle. So it's part of Norway, and I've always wanted to go, and I don't really know why. I don't necessarily like the cold, it just looks incredible. I used to read a lot of Philip Pullman books, and in his Dark Materials series, like part of that, they go to Svalbard, and it sounded like a made-up place, the way that it was sort of wrote about and how gorgeous it sounded. And then when I found out that it was real, I was like, oh, I've got to go. And I've watched so many documentaries on sort of like the polar bears and all sorts of those sorts of stuff there in Svalbard, that I was like, I've got to go. So it's one of my sort of ambitions in life to do that. And at the moment, I'm trying to save up for, so my 52 envelope challenge, that is a saving for, I'm gonna try and do like a polar tour. So I think the company's called Hurtigruten, and it's a couple of £1,000. And I want to save up over a couple of years to have one of those tours. It's like a polar cruise or something like that, and you go around like loads of polar islands and see like polar bears and stuff like that, and it's something that I've always wanted to do. Like, I love that sort of stuff. I'm not really a hot weather type of person. I've never been into that. Like, whenever sort of Jake and I have gone somewhere warm, I've always really struggled with the heat. Like, we go to Spain relatively regularly, and the heat sort of makes me miserable. I have to have a nap in the middle of the day, and for Jake, like, the heat is like fresh berries. He absolutely loves it. He's so happy getting like sizzled in the sun. I can barely bear it. My brother lives in Hawaii, and one time we went, it was so warm, and I was like, I need to nap. Like, it was just too much for me. So it doesn't necessarily make me happy, but I also just love holiday. So sometimes I'm just like, oh, I just really could do with getting in the sun, but like, it doesn't last very long, that is for sure. But yeah, I'm definitely a cold weather type of person, definitely, and it definitely makes me happier. So I think, yeah, I suppose that answers the question, doesn't it? Where would you like to go before you die? Svalbard, I think for sure. I'd love to do that. So if anybody watching is from Norway or Svalbard, invite me up, because I'd love to do it on the cheap. So Blumenkind on Insta asked me, do you still want to own? And if you do, how are you preparing for that? So yes, I do want to own my own home. It's always been a goal of mine. I think I was much more focused on it when I was with Jake and we were a couple together, because it made sense for us both, and it just becomes a bit more difficult now that I am single. So there's a couple parts about that. Is I've never had a mortgage. I've always rented, and I've always been relatively comfortable with that. I know that some people say that, you know, renting, you're just chucking your money paying off somebody else's mortgage, and some people say that, yeah, but then you don't have to worry about sort of boilers breaking and things like that. And by the time you've paid off your mortgage, you're old anyway, so what's the point? So I get the two sides of the coins. But for me, I would definitely like to own somewhere that I can call my own. That would make me super happy. And I'm not sure why, but listen, if there's something that is encouraging me to save up sort of tens of thousands of pounds, I'm just gonna let it and not really question it, because I don't see that as a bad thing to want to save up that sort of money. So at the moment, the only sort of goal I have The only thing that I'm doing to work towards that is my 100 envelope challenge. So I know with the 100 envelope challenge, once I finish that, that'll be 5,050. And with my salary by myself, I know the 5,050, about £10,000 would cover the 5% minimum deposit that I'd need to have, and with a little bit spare. So I would be sort of okay with that. So I'm quite comfortable it taking me 2 to 3 years to do it, because if I'm doing it by myself, the sort of sense of achievement that I'll get, but you never know where you're going to be in 3 years time. So at the moment I kind of feel like I need to stay in my job, because I've got an okay salary with them, and that's good to show the bank that I can afford a mortgage. But I am so unhappy there that I'd like to be self-employed as quickly as possible, but then the money from Etsy isn't as consistent as I'd like. So, plus you also need to be registered as self-employed for 3 years as well, which is something I recently found out. So it does make it tougher to get a mortgage, but I'm not going to be ready for at least 3 years anyway, so I might as well just bite the bullet. So yeah, in answer to that question, yes, I am looking to buy my own place, and I want it to be my own and not with anybody else. Yeah, I'm sort of doing the 100 envelope challenge is the only thing I've really got, because that's all I really can do. But like, it's sensible. I'm still saving up money. Like, it's still going as quick as I can. It's just life changes quite often, so I can't always rely on stuff, if that makes sense. So NBK over on YouTube asked, what did you study at university? So at university I studied graphic design. I probably could have done better at university than I actually did. I ended up with a 2-1, which is something that, you know, I'm the first person in my family to have gone to uni and to finish uni and all of that stuff. I probably could have got a first, because I was quite good at school, but I found out that boys exist at uni and went down that path and ended up in a very long-term relationship that at the time made me really happy. We were together like 6-7 years, but yeah, that's what happened with uni. So I got more interested in boys than anything else, which kind of made my uni work suffer, but I had an absolute blast in uni. Oh, I loved it. It was probably the best time of my life. I used to get paid weekly from my job, and I had a student loan. Like, I never worried about money, and money's always been something that I've worried about, even when I was a child, when because my dad was self-employed and my mum stayed at home. I would even worry about money when we go shopping, like, can we afford this? And of course we could afford it, but I don't know why it was something that always crossed my mind. I don't know, but I've always worried about money, and uni I never did. I always had an abundance of it, it always felt like, but little, you know, my sort of brain was like, yeah, I've got loads of money, like, isn't life great? And it was all stuff that I had to pay back eventually. So I'm still you know, I only just paid off the overdraft with help from my parents that I generated through uni, and I've still got my student loan, but like, I'm so much closer. The people that I went to uni with, I'm so much closer to paying off my student loan than they are, and that's because I earned so much for a number of years. But I don't earn that money anymore, but yeah, that's wonderful, that is. But yeah, I did graphic design, did quite well, really enjoyed it, really loved it. But yeah, I think that makes things like creating these sorts of things a bit easier for me, because I've got some sort of technical knowledge when it comes to designing stuff and how things look good and stuff like that. So it kind of has, for a long time I didn't use my degree. I think it was just a bit of a crisis of confidence. I never felt good enough to be able to like work for a graphic design studio. And I think it was more because I didn't really apply myself towards the end of my degree. So I think that's that. But now I truly feel like I am using my degree. Like I've got quite a nice identity on YouTube and Etsy as well, and I feel like I'm doing okay with that. Like everything's sort of rainbowy and stuff like that, so I'm pretty pleased with that. Oh, I've done it again. I keep on doing that. Sorry, Emily, I nearly sent yours nowhere. I need to pay a bit more attention. So yeah, so graphic design is what I did at uni. Loved it, but I liked boys more. And here I am, sort of, when did I graduate? I can't remember when I graduated, but probably about 20 years later. No, it won't be 20 years, like 10 years later, I'm finally using my degree. Better late than never, eh? Let me take this off. So, Tricky Rick asks, would you like to meet someone one day and have children in the future? I think never say never when it comes to meeting somebody else. Like, for me, I am a bit of a serial monogamist, so I've had 2 relationships in my life. One was about 7 years, and this last one was about 8.5 years. So it does take a while, at least for me, to sort of learn how to cope outside of a relationship, because I haven't, since I've been about 21, I haven't really not been in a relationship. There wasn't very much time in between my previous relationship and my relationship with Jake, so I haven't really spent much time alone, and I suppose that's the scary bit for me, but at the same time I'm quite looking forward to it. But I'd say never say never. I'm not actively looking for somebody at the moment, and I definitely don't feel ready to be with anybody at the moment. I'm quite looking forward to being by myself, but if the right person came along, never say never. I'm not against anything like that, but I think if I met someone now, I think I'd be a bit disappointed, because I haven't really been single yet, and I haven't really spent any time by myself yet. So I would definitely want to do that first, in a selfish way. But yeah, in terms of children, do I ever want children? Absolutely not. Never want children. It's never been something that I've ever wanted. It just seems so... I mean, props to everybody who has ambitions to have kids and wants to procreate and make copies of themselves and things like that. But for me, absolutely not. No way. I can't even explain why I don't want kids. Just the thought of having to take care of someone for literally the rest of my life. Like, my parents are saints, but I'm 36 and they still call me to see how I am and stuff like that. I am far too selfish to do anything like that. I just don't. I couldn't do that. I love being an amazing uncle. I love doing that sort of stuff, and taking kids out and doing all that sort of stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I don't not like children. Like, my nephews and nieces I love to pieces, and I would do anything for them. But there's no way on earth I would want kids for myself. Like, carting around a buggy everywhere, no. not interested at all. Like, I'm sure that if I had kids, that opinion would change. Like my best friend, we were very much of the same opinion, and then she got pregnant one day, and she wasn't trying, and it is the best thing that's ever happened to her. It's completely changed her life. She's incredible, and her children are just beautiful, and I love them, and I'm a huge part of their life. And she loves those kids, but she was very much of the same opinion as me before she had children. So I'm sure that if I had kids, maybe by accident, that would, my opinions would change. But there are very little opportunities for that to happen, if you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm not interested in having children at all, but meeting somebody else, potentially. If I met somebody else and they wanted kids, I would probably consider it. I would rather adopt than make a kid, because I think there's so many children in the world that need parents and need love that don't. So I don't see any point, if you have the opportunity to adopt, to not. But I get the other way around as well. So that would be my stance on it. So Maury Das, if I've said that right, will you ever vlog on your channel? Yeah, I would love to vlog on my channel. I would love to do that. It's about sort of finding time and making sure that there is an audience for me. So yeah, I would like to vlog. I'd like to do studio vlogs, but I know how much effort that they take, and I want to be confident that there be something that you like. So I think this is my first step into a vlog, sort of telling you about me. The only trouble is as well is I don't really do much during the day. So I work on the business and I design a lot, so there'll be quite a lot of video footage of me just sat at a computer, which is not terribly exciting. And then the things that I do when I leave the house tend to be with friends, and with that side of my life I like to be as private as possible. And I know that my friends don't necessarily want to be on YouTube, so it wouldn't be incredible sort of stuff. But in terms of what I'm doing, if the shop got any bigger, I think it would probably make sense for me to do them a bit more, to do them. But at the moment, I do want to do them. I'd like to do them, but I don't have any plans to do them in the immediate future, just because it doesn't quite make sense right now for me, if that makes sense. But as part of the channel's growth, yes, I'd love to. But there's also another part that maybe I should sort out this channel monetization, which is it's just so annoying. Maybe I should sort that out before I do anything like that, because if, you know, the blogs or vlogs do well, I might need to get a bit of money for them. Okay, oh, this is a really big order. Okay, right. So, Without Limits Budget asks, do you plan on having a roommate? Short answer, no. I don't want a roommate. I know it might make financial sense for me to have a roommate, but for me it's not anything that I want to do. It's a tough thing to say, because there's quite a lot of privilege in what I say, in the fact that I don't want a roommate, and I can probably afford to not have a roommate. I don't want to walk downstairs and somebody else is using my kitchen, and even if I like the person, I don't want that in my life. So I don't want to do that. Yeah, short answer, no, I don't want a roommate. I don't want to share my home. I want to live alone. I am really excited about living alone. If I find myself in a financial position where I need to get a roommate, then I will consider it. But for now, no. And I recognise that that is me talking from a lot of privilege, being in a financial position to be able to turn that down. So, but I know that I potentially would be further on with my goals if I said yes to it, but it's not, unless it was like someone that I've known for absolutely years, no. But the people that I've known for a very long time are very financially stable. So that's not something that's ever going to really come up, I believe. So no. This is a lovely one, this is. Really going through these orders today, aren't I? This isn't necessarily a typical day for me for orders. I have actually saved them up, and I spent the whole day yesterday making orders, so I'm a bit further ahead than I'd normally be with orders. So I literally spent the whole day yesterday making them so that I can pack them with you today. Piper the Chiweenie asks, what keeps you motivated? And that is a tough question, because I think sometimes I'm quite a self-motivated person anyway, so I can get really laser focused in on things that I really care about. So in terms of YouTube and my Etsy store, I really care about it, so it doesn't take much for me to wake up in the morning and it's one of the first things I think about and one of the first things that I want to do. So it's not necessarily difficult for me to stay motivated in that sort of sense. But with other things in life, so maybe the things that I don't like doing, so let's say for instance going to work, that does take quite a lot of willpower for me. Like, I'm not I'll just call in sick sort of person or anything like that. I don't really do that, and that's not really me. But to get up and have my life is quite a difficult one sometimes. Like, I find I do struggle sort of like doing basic things like that sometimes, and that's where I have to sort of use the analytical part of my brain and like have to talk to myself and say, look, you've got to go to work. You've got to do this, you've got to do that, don't be stupid. And like, I don't tell myself I'm stupid very often and stuff like that, but like, I do sometimes have to give myself a talking to and say, look, you've got to do this. Like, I don't know, like where you've got to do something that you don't want to do, like go to the dentist. Like, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. So just do it and be present and get it done. That's sort of how I talk to myself sometimes about stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of need to do that sometimes in order to get through stuff that I don't want to do. And at the, you know, for a time, just going to work is tough sometimes. Just, you know, if you're having a real big anxiety day and things are really difficult and you just feel like you're panicking over, and you can't even put your finger on what you're panicking about, it can be really tough. So sometimes I just need to talk to myself about it. So that's what I do. Oh, these are so pretty, aren't they? Little trimmed envelopes, lovely. Okay, so Lauren asks, what is the best holiday you've been on? I've had a couple of really good holidays. So ones that like jump up is where I've been to Hawaii. But I think the best holiday I've ever been on in my life, and the one that I have the nicest memories from, is a holiday that I went on, just me and Jake, just a weekend away. We went to Berlin and it was just amazing. I absolutely loved it. By the way, this order, they ordered in this green and I set it out in purple and I have no idea why. So I don't get it. So I had to make this again. That's why I've already got the label made up. But yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Berlin. So Berlin for me is the best city in the world. I absolutely love it. We had like 3 or 4 days there. Just the culture and the type of, just the food is definitely my pace. Like schnitzel and sauerkraut and kebabs and meat and beer, and it's definitely my speed when it comes to stuff like that. Like definitely. I did really well with German at school. Yeah, I did really well with it. So I can hold a conversation in German relatively okay, but it sort of dissipates over the years where I don't do it. So, you know, we went to places that I've always wanted to go. So there's a couple of things that I really wanted to do while I was in Berlin. So the first thing I wanted to do was go to the Bauhaus archive. So the Bauhaus is like a German art school from a while ago. I can't really remember. I think it's pre-war. And it's just somewhere that I always wanted to go to my whole life. And I got to go there. And when I got there, the guide started speaking to me in German, so I spoke back to her in German, and then she just went off and I just got completely lost after that. But sometimes that happens to me a lot in Germany. Like I think people start to think that I am German and then just go off and I just feel lost and just end up going, ja, natürlich, or whatever. I don't know, but like, yeah, that happens. But I love being in Germany. I've been to a couple of different places in Germany throughout my life. But Berlin and Munich, I love especially. Also in Berlin, there's these really old pre-war like photo booths. I'm sure they're pre-war, yeah, they've got to be pre-war, but they're so old and rickety. They're all black and white. They've never been upgraded because they shouldn't. And like they, it takes the standard sort of, you know, the strip of photos, but they're all like, there's 4 of them. 4 photos on it. They're all in black and white. The cameras are rubbish, so they're like blurry in some parts, sharp in other parts, and they let a lot of light in, so there's like loads of like bleed and stuff like that. And it takes the most gorgeous photos, like absolutely stunning. They're just old, and yeah, there's like about 20 of them dotted around Berlin, and they're old, they're not taken care of, and I don't think a lot of tourists know a lot about them. Maybe they do, I don't know, but yeah, we are trying to find as many of those as possible. I think we found about 8. You can find a map, but they're just in the most random places. But yeah, doing that and experiencing a proper Turkish-German doner kebab was, yeah, as you can tell, that's my, I've left the thing in there. Who was that for? I'm just gonna write on it. I need to stop doing that and concentrate more. So that is the black binder. And a kiss to myself for being an idiot. I just need some sort of identifier for when I go and make the label, because I don't want to mix anybody's orders up. Okay, this one's a big order. Yeah, look at this. Look how many envelopes she ordered. She ordered them in like every single font as well. Stunning. Yeah, and 3 of them she wanted trimmed as well. Weird. Wonderful though. Okay, so next question. Oh, from Lauren as well. What is your dream job? I kinda feel like I'm doing it already. Like, this Etsy store makes me so happy. I think when I'm able to do more with it, so in terms of selling products to more people, but reaching a wider audience and helping people get out of debt in my way, and helping people to just get hold of their financial lives in whatever way that works for them. So I know that, like, you know, you've got people like the Budget Mom and Dave Ramsey and stuff like that. There's a very prescriptive way to do it, and it's their way. But like for me, whatever works for you works for you. Like, you do that, you be you, you do you, sort of thing. So I'm never, what am I doing? I'm waffling. But basically, ideally, I want to be running this Etsy store full time, and I want to be, because it makes me so happy, I want my products to be a bit more easier to make, maybe outsourced, just so that I spend a lot more time designing than making, because I think that's one of the bits for me, is I spend a lot more time making and packing than designing, and designing's where, like, makes me super, super happy. And yeah, doing this full time would make me so happy. But, you know, there's also another way where I don't actually dream of labour. Like, I don't want to. This is Yasmin's order, by the way. Absolutely love this woman. She's ordered a ton of envelopes. Let me just undo this. So Yasmin's ordered a mini book, a ton of envelopes, and then 3 of these trackers, like in the March style. Beautiful, gorgeous. So what was I saying? Yeah, I don't actually dream of labour. Like, ideally, I wouldn't work ever, and I'd just pop on YouTube and like have a chat with you guys, but I need to make money. So I'd like to, you know, the best case scenario is me doing YouTube and Etsy full time. That'd make me so happy. Budget with M asks, and if you don't follow Budget with M, you really need to. She's the first person who did this video from what I can see, and she was painting her nails on her video, and yeah, it was a really good video. I watched it from like start to the end. It was really good. So Budget with M is, what is your favourite thing to treat yourself to? So for me, if I've ever got extra money, and I know if I have extra money, I should like save it. But if I have ever got any extra money, the first thing I go to is food. Because food makes me so happy. Yeah, food makes me really, really happy. So like, and it's like fast food. So like today, if I was feeling really, really blue, the thing that I might do to treat myself to is maybe get myself a McDonald's and eat in a car park. And I know that might sound really bad. It sounds like I'm using food as a sort of crutch or a support mechanism, but yeah, I am, and it works. And I'm not one of those people that feel guilty afterwards, because I'm not a person that worries about my weight. I think sounds egotistical, but I can look in the mirror and feel like I look good at any size. I think sometimes I prefer myself a bit bigger as well, and when I think about the men that I like, they are bigger. So that's the sort of look that I like. I think there is a point where people stop taking care of themselves sometimes, but I am perfectly happy being the size that I am, and yeah, and that's the sort of lad that I look for as well. So I'd never feel guilty for eating bad food because it makes me happy and it works. So yeah, but like today, all I can think about is that German doner kebab place. That's all I can think about. But I won't go because it costs money and I've got food in the house. But also I need to go and post this later on. And the post office is inside a co-op. So what I might do is get myself something nice from there. So I'm not really a chocolate bar type of person, but they've got a nice bakery and sometimes they've got those like pizza twists. But if I go later on in the day, there is a fish and chip shop in the village that I live in, and it's really good. So I might get fish and chips, although that is quite a lot for lunch, isn't it? I don't know, but either way, it's food, so food makes me really, really happy. I did buy myself a Christmas present at Christmas, which was that pink Power Ranger, but that's the sort of thing that is a bit of a waste of money for me because yes, I bought it, yes, I'm happy I've got it, but I ain't done anything with it. I'm not gonna play with it. It's a plastic toy. I'm not gonna put it on display, but for me, I would really like to have like a million pink Power Rangers and like have a bit of a collection. But no, I'm not that type of person. Oh, this is a huge, oh, let me show you this order. It is absolutely ginormous. Look, I even ruined a paperclip for it. Right, so Bethan has ordered, look at all of this. So a blank one, coins, look at all these zippers, and then look at all of these. It's just never ending, isn't it? I love doing big orders like this because I know that their binder is going to look so banging. Like, look at all of that. That's so nice, isn't it? Okay, let's pack this. Okay, next question. Debt-free Germany. Debt-free Germany. What is the one thing you would like to achieve in life? At the moment, I'm quite goal focused and I'm really, really laser focused on making this work. I would love to be freelance and spending a lot of time on Instagram and YouTube and Etsy. That would make me so beyond happy. But when I really think about what I really want to do with my life, I would like a career like this, where I could do anywhere in the world, and I would like to actually move. And it's interesting that Debt-Free Germany asked this question, but I would like to live in Germany. I would like to live on my own or with someone else maybe, doing this in Germany and having a life in Germany and speaking German and eating German food, and maybe there's a German boy, or I don't know, but that's what I would like to do. I think the culture of how analytical and pragmatic and sometimes in the nicest possible way emotionless you often find German people are, it is just me all over. Like, don't get me wrong, I see, feel, touch and all of that with emotions, but the way I think about stuff, I kind of use the other side of my brain quite often, and I am quite emotionless in my decision making and stuff like that. That's not saying all German people are like that, but that tends to be what I've found in my life. So just the lifestyle of how family is super important, and then after that it's about literally enjoying your life. It just really, really resonates with me. So I would like to live in Germany and retire out there and live there and basically, you know, be German. That would make me super happy, but it's just a huge leap. So this would need to be super successful first, and it would need to be successful regardless of where I live in the world, so that I can just pick up and go. But other than that, I haven't looked any further than that into it. So it's not something that is an immediate goal or anything like that. But yeah, it's definitely something that I've always wanted to do, for sure. And the last question is from Budget on Universal Credit. And they ask, would you ever show how you food budget? I think there's a lot of content that I would like to do for this channel. And showing how I food budget, doing food haul. I mean, I eat very, very different to you. So when I look at my analytics, most of you are mums, and you have to take care of more than just yourself. And my food budget is for me and sometimes Jake. It's very, very different. So I don't know if you'd maybe find the first one interesting, but I don't know if it would necessarily work for you, because, you know, probably my diet is very, very different to yours and your family's. And how I budget is probably very, very different. So I don't know if it would necessarily be good for you, but that's not a never say never. I think there's been enough people asking for it that I would definitely do it in the future. It's just, how do I make it different from other people? Because you often see like food hauls and things like that. This is what I bought, and then you'll see like a load of stuff put onto like their kitchen side, and then that's about it really. Look at these, they're nice. They asked for sparkles, and I was thinking, do they want sprinkles or glitter? So I just went, let's just do glitter. I did ask them, but it didn't, they didn't respond. So I was like, okay, let's just do this for now. What was I saying? But yeah, I'd like to sort of show you how I break down how I do it, because honestly, I just go with my cash and I only spend what I have. And you know, if I start at the start, I put in what I want, and when the money runs out, that's it. So if I don't get round to the frozen section, then I don't have any frozen stuff, sort of thing. But if I'm like, if I need to, what I tend to do when I go shopping is I have like a shopping list, and these 5 things I definitely need, and it's normally butter, like maybe fabric conditioner, milk, bread, eggs, right? So those are the first places I go, and before I look at anything, and I have my phone on me, and I like start off at £50, and then I take away each thing that I put into my trolley. And then once I have once I've got those, then I start at the start of the shop, and then I can put in whatever I want after that. And then once I've finished, I stop. And I stop putting stuff in. The only time it is tough is when I take someone else shopping with me, because it's like, oh yeah, we can get a bottle of wine, and we can do that, and yeah, let's get that, let's do that. That's what makes it tough. So I tend to go by myself. But essentially, that's how I do it. So that is me done. I've just packed a lot of orders there. So thank you for being with me. Hopefully I did a good job with this, and I don't know what editing this is going to be like, but yeah, I enjoyed it today. So thank you so much for being here with me today. Make sure you go ahead and check out Budget with Em. She did this first, so on her video she did a get to know me, and then she painted her nails. Absolutely fascinating to watch. And yeah, I will see you again in another video. If I didn't answer your question, really, really sorry, but I will probably do another one of these. If there's anything else that you want to know, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you again at a new video. Thank you so much, besties. And if you would like to support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie.